All right, we've got just 2 more guest speakers coming in tonight. The next one I'm really excited for. How many of you guys, like, the thought of publishing something or going live scares you to death because you're like, what if I publish something and people in the comments, they hate me or they make fun of me or they tease me or like all the different things? How many of you guys, honestly, does that make you really, really nervous? Okay? It can be the scariest part sometimes is putting yourself out there to figure out what's gonna be happening. And our next guest speaker came to me with an idea for a presentation that I was so excited for, to talk about how do you take those things, those comments, the things that haters and people are giving to you, and how you turn that into fuel to actually grow your business. I'm excited for our next speaker. She is a funnel hacker. She's one of you guys. She's someone who's been in our community for a long, long time. So with that said, let's put our hands together for Miranda Pearce.
Come on! Woo! Woo! Oh, thank you so much. Woo! November 2020, I was sitting at my desk and I got a call from my business partner, Lee. You know when you pick up the phone and you can tell by the way someone is breathing that it's bad news? That is what happened that night. And he said to me, Miranda, I'm afraid I've received some screenshots. I'm afraid that you're being attacked on a Facebook group. They're getting really personal, Miranda. He said, there's one screenshot in particular that I strongly recommend you do not look at. Before we look at this screenshot together, some context. This Facebook group was full of other med spa owners like me, doctors, nurses, practice managers, and my husband is well known in the industry as an aesthetic doctor. Feel awful saying this, but I was surprised that was his wife. If my husband was this aesthetics genius, I wouldn't look like that. I think the reason that Lee, my colleague, was so scared to show me this screenshot is because he's known me for a long time. He knew me back in the day when my self-opinion very much rested on other people's opinion of me. If they praised me, I had a wonderful day. If I received criticism, I would crumble. But there's a big problem with that. If you're so scared of what other people think of you, then you're never going to take risks. I'm just interested, how many of you guys have held back from saying something on the internet, whether it be social media or a podcast, because you worried that you would be cancelled, or you worried that you would be told you're ugly or laughed at? How many of you guys have held yourself back on social media? Yeah, exactly. What a total travesty. This room is full of beautiful souls. The reason I know that is because Russell is a beautiful soul and he has congregated us. So we need to put ourselves out there into the world. We need to be the ones who have the voices. And if we are holding ourselves back, then that's just very, very bad. But it's even worse than that. In this time of my life, was procrastinating in so many ways. I procrastinated putting myself out there. I procrastinated putting boundaries down with staff. I procrastinated saying no to my clients. But when you fail to do the brave things that you know you need to do in order to become the person that you know you are capable of becoming, then this happens. I was chronically procrastinating, and it leads to depression. That is what happens when you don't do the things you know you need to do. But luckily for me, between the time that I was depressed in 2016 and when I received this screenshot in 2020, I had a metamorphosis. I was lucky enough to discover a certain gentleman called Russell Brunson. And Russell taught me how to put myself out there in a way that would make me money. And it's funny because when you start and make money, you're so much more likely and so much more willing to actually be brave. So tonight, I am here to pay Russell back and to teach you guys how you can also make money from your haters. stop fearing them, and actually fill your funnels with the blood of your enemy. Woo! So back to 2020. I'm sitting there, I put the phone down to my colleague, I open up the screenshot, and instead of crumbling, when I saw that that woman had called me ugly, a smile appeared across my face. And I thought, bring it on. I am going to make content out of this. I am not letting her get away with this. And so I did. I went absolutely wild. I made Instagram posts. I made Facebook Lives. I'm just like, it was the talk of the industry for about 3 days. I got so many new followers, more on that in a sec. I got traffic. It was just amazing. And 3 days later, the lady who wrote that comment actually slid into my DMs and graciously apologized. She apologized to me. And that is the power of calling people out. It's the power of really raising awareness of why this hate is not okay. But way more importantly than her apologizing, I had bonded with my audience on a whole new level. Now, we had a common enemy. And so, 5 months after this hate comment, and after I made this sort of mini dramatic demonstration out of it, I was able to launch my first e-learning product. I had a list of 8,000. I sold $600,000 worth in 3 days. That's how bonded I was to my audience. So would you guys like to hear the formula, 3-step formula for how you can fill your funnel with the blood of your enemies? Who wants to hear this? Woo! Let's do this. Number 1, we are going to ask ourselves the blue hair question, okay? So if I said to you, what's your name, sir? Jeremy. Jeremy, if I said to you, Jeremy, what were you thinking coming to Funnel Hacking Live with blue hair? It's just weird. No one wants your blue hair. Are you offended by that? I've said that you have blue hair. No, because you don't have blue hair. Love it, love it. You have amazing head with an amazing cap. So the reason that we're not offended by that is because we don't have blue hair. And yet, this is the heart of why we fear haters so much. Because actually, we worry that they are calling us out on something that might be true. We think maybe what they say is going to pull our pants down and tell the truth. So last week, I did a massive webinar yesterday, and I've been hammering it on the paid ads recently, and I got this comment from Chad. So it's a webinar ad. Utter bull, beep, selling some magical system that probably requires you to spend loads of money to get it working. So the first thing I did when I received this is I asked myself the blue hair question. Is Chad correct? Do I agree with him? Well, I'll tell you what, Chad is correct about one thing. I absolutely am gonna sell. And I absolutely am going to sell an amazing system. But Chad is wildly wrong about one thing, which is he says it'll get it working. Chad doesn't believe in my system, but he doesn't know that my system is absolutely amazing. So I've asked myself that question, and now I'm in my integrity. I am no longer on Chad's level. I am the controller of the game instead of the player of the game. Number 2, we are going to reply to Chad. Can everyone please, this is so important, please listen to me now, stop deleting and blocking your haters. You have spent all this time making these ads and all this money. We need to actually reply to them so we can keep that conversation going in the comments. Literally, this is one of the number 1 KPIs that the algorithms on social use for how well you're doing is comments. So stop deleting them. And we know we're in our integrity, so we can absolutely reply to Chad. One more incredibly important reason that you need to reply to Chad is, as RuPaul said, if they ain't paying your bills, pay them no mind. The truth is, you guys, I don't care about Chad. I'm just using him. I'm just using him to get closer to my audience. So don't reply. Don't think about Chad when you're replying. Think about the fact that when your dream customer is looking at the comments on your ads, they are hot like fire. It takes quite a lot for someone to go from an ad creative to the comments section. So make sure that you give them what they want. Make sure that you show up as the leader that you are. So in this reply, we need to state your values and your value. Number one, the first thing you should do when you receive a hate comment is give them a bit of love. Poor old Chad. You know, he's a bit sad and lonely. He's probably sitting on the toilet or something. So I say, hi, Chad, thanks for your comment. Or you can say, thanks for joining the debate. Next, this is such a killer move. Tell him he is right. You are right, Chad. I am absolutely running a small business and I'm absolutely hoping that people will buy my thing. But if they're going to buy my thing, Chad, then probably I need to make amazing free content or else they're not going to want to. And luckily for me, Chad, I know that my free stuff actually is changing lives. So you can see that if one of my dream customers who's thinking of signing up for my webinar sees this, they're going to be like, right, absolutely, she's a leader. So you've got to reply. Number three, I should say, this is the fun bit actually. We're going to create content out of this hate comment, okay? So fun. Now, 99% of the time, you are going to create content in a classy way. You're going to be classy queen or a classy king, and you are going to use it as a teachable moment. Remember what RuPaul said, this isn't about Chad, we're teaching our audience, and we're going to empower them. So this is 5 seconds of an example of me replying to a comment.
This negative comment raises a really important marketing question. How many likes should you be getting on your posts?
So you can either screenshot the hate and throw it up on a green screen, or you can do what I did here in Instagram Reels. And when you go to reply, there's a little blue video symbol next to the reply. Click on that and it brings up the comment into a new reel, and you can just use it as a teachable moment. For example, let's say that you're in the weight loss space and someone called you fat, or called one of your clients who's been gracious enough to allow themselves to be in your video, called them fat. Do you think that other people in your audience are worried about being called fat as well? Of course they are. Use it as a teachable moment. Now, and by the way, whenever I do this, it's so powerful. You get so much engagement. How many of you guys have seen your engagement and your views drop off a cliff since 2021? Where you're just like not getting as many views. Exactly. So this works so well because it follows hook, story, offer. Hook, everyone wants to see their haters being bashed, their enemies. Great hook. Story, it's a living and breathing story because people wonder, is Chad going to reply? People become part of the story. And offer, you're going to get so much engagement because everyone has an opinion about haters. Now, once in a while, a comment so egregious comes along that you do not need to keep it classy. All right? We're not going to keep it classy with this gentleman. Miranda, stop fooling people. You are the most ordinary ... whore. By the way, I have permission to say whore. I specifically asked them to check with legal. Is this okay that I say whore? So this gentleman called me an ordinary whore. I know, right? So offensive. I'm not ordinary. I'm on the funnel hacking live stage. I'm so not ordinary. So if he is going to try and drag me, then I am also going to drag him back. And I made this video. Just so you know, this next video, I blurred out his face because I kind of didn't want to dox him in front of 5,000 people. But here you go.
Let's have a look at some pictures of the guy who called me an ordinary ...
Thank you. Not very classy, but I've gone too far. I thought I had another slide there. So he called me an ordinary whore, and my friend and industry influencer, Dr. Subio, commented on that video and said, now we need ordinary whore t-shirts. So I'm like, you are so right, we need ordinary whore t-shirts. And so I made an ordinary whore t-shirt, sent it across the Atlantic to Dr. Subio, and he made a post. He got 2,000 likes, dozens of people saying that they also wanted ordinary whore t-shirts. And so we are selling ordinary whore t-shirts, and the proceeds are going to an anti-bullying charity. Oh my God, I'm over time. I'm so sorry. Okay. So my customers, my audience, they love this as well. And they feel like now that they have arrived when they receive hate comments. So follow this formula, ask yourself the blue hair question, reply to the hate comment, and create content out of it. I'll end with this. A year ago, I was speaking on stage in Switzerland. And when I came off, two beautiful nurses, Yanis and Lumni from Miami, came up to me and they said, Miranda, I'm so happy to meet you because we first met you virtually 2 years ago when we followed you after you did a piece of content about being called ugly. And it was a large part of the reason that they've flown across an ocean and spent $10,000 each to see me speak. Hate is an opportunity, you guys, at best, and at worst, it's a beautiful war wound for a battle worth fighting. Please use your hate and promise me, for the love of all that is holy, that you will never let it stop you from showing up for the people you've been called to serve. It was my honor to serve you tonight. I guess you'll never know.